SNP has been harvesting people's social media data. Facebook has to date taken out a full-page advert in Britain's Sunday newspapers apologizing to customers for the Cambridge Analytica data mining scandal in the US presidential election. SNP leader Nicola Sturgeon described the revelations as fascinating and disturbing, and Stuart MacDonald MP said, "I'm quite certain nobody joined Facebook to have their data harvested and used to manipulate elections across the world." However, the nationalists were the pioneers of data mining technology, and senior figures even boasted how it had helped Alex Salmond win a shock Holyrood landslide. The SNP began building its Activate database of Scotland's 4 million voters almost a decade ago, using public information such as the electoral roll and canvassing returns. With Labour ahead in the polls before 2011 Scottish election, SNP digital strategist Kirk Torrance contacted the LA-based team behind Nation Builder and offered to give the software a trial run. It was designed by social media pioneer Joe Green, who shared a room with Zuckerberg, with funding from Facebook and Napster billionaire Sean Parker, who was portrayed by Justin Timberlake in the Social Network movie. Nation Builder allowed the SNP to mine social media for additional information to be added to Activate, including photos, bios, email addresses, and locations. This in turn meant that party canvassers could target the homes of likely supporters using an iPhone app that downloaded information from Activate. Journalists shown the system at the party headquarters in Edinburgh were stunned to see the voting intentions of millions of people hoarded in extraordinary detail. Speaking at the time, Mr. Torrance said, "What we have done through Facebook and Twitter is build an online distribution network, like a pyramid, with HQ at the top, and then party members, supporters, the public, all circulating information. You can do all sorts of things, like sentiment analysis, whether people's conversations are positive or negative towards you. Or you can identify people who are championing the party but aren't party members. We've identified several like that." Nation Builder allowed the SNP to mine social media. Nation Builder has since been adopted by other political parties and campaign groups across the world, including Jeremy Corbyn's Momentum campaign. It was also used by both the Remain and Leave campaigns during the Brexit referendum, although Vote Leave promised to authorize a complete destruction of its database as soon as reasonably practicable. After polling day, Nation Builder says the details of anybody who follows, retweets or even mentions a political party on Twitter will be imported into the database. The software will also pull in everyone who either likes one of your Facebook posts or comments on a post. This means it is likely that anybody in Scotland who has liked a post by the SNP or even mentioned the party in a comment on social media during the past 7 years will have had their details pulled into the database. Speaking in 2012, Mr. Green said, "With Facebook and Twitter, we can start to pull information about what you're interested in. This is all things that people have explicitly made public. We're not pulling stuff that's not public." Most recently, the SNP used Nation Builder for the national survey in 2016, which attempted to ask 2 million people for the views on Brexit, independence and a second referendum. Brand Response, a London-based web developer, built the survey's website and said, "We needed to make sure that all data was accurately synced back to a Nation Builder." Last December, Facebook claimed a key role in Nicola Sturgeon's 2015 general election landslide and said the SNP had used Facebook's targeting and engagement tools to mobilize its supporters and achieve an overwhelming victory. Getty Facebook claimed a key role in Nicola Sturgeon's 2015 general election landslide. Those tools included setting up custom audiences of SNP supporters on Facebook and then creating lookalikes of other users who had similar profiles to them and bombarding them with messages. Mr. Torrance, who now runs his own firm called Industrial New Media with the SNP as a client, was quoted as saying, "Facebook is now a permanent cylinder in the SNP's campaigning engine." Jim Killick, executive director of the Open Rights Group, said, "What people do not always realize when they put things on Facebook or Twitter is that a lot of that data is public and people can sweep up anything they think is relevant in order to analyze you in this way. People don't realize this is happening. They have maybe signed up for lots of services, but it's not clear to people that things that are publicly shared are somehow going to end up in a massive database run by marketing companies, political parties, charities and other organizations. All of them want to know what you are thinking so they can persuade you to take their issue seriously or vote for them. This must seem fantastic to lots of organizations, but there are serious questions about public trust. Now, thanks to Cambridge Analytica, people are starting to think about what that means. He added, it is legal, although with things like sentiment analysis you start straying into very strange territory. There are questions about holding sensitive information such as a person's political beliefs. You are meant to have explicit consent for things like that. A lot of people are going to be surprised about how much information these organizations hold about them and that they have analyzed their innermost thoughts. For many years, data protection has been very poorly enforced in the UK, and companies have adopted American models of data usage. If you pull in a bunch of Facebook likes, then use them to draw conclusions about political beliefs and store the information in a database, then suddenly you have created sensitive personal data about that person for which they should have given explicit consent. Guy Herbert of the No. 2 ID campaign said, this sort of contempt for privacy shown by political parties feeds through into contempt for privacy in government. They have absolutely no compunction about building databases, and they treat our privacy as worthless. It is utterly hypocritical because they are all doing it. An SNP spokesman said, the SNP's social media success is powered by our mass membership, not by dodgy data harvesting like Cambridge Analytica. Our contract with Nation Builder contains the EU model data protection clauses ensuring that they and we operate within the law.